Hi, so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you might be perceived on the telephone and how you can perhaps make that a little bit better than what it is at the moment. One of the biggest things I think about self-development and being able to develop yourself is to be conscious and aware of what you're doing in your behaviour. We all have moments of unconscious behaviour where we have no idea what we may be coming across as or how we might be perceived by the other person. And that's why it's called unconscious behaviour. And a lot of the time, if you're doing something which you're skilled at, or you do literally every day, day in, day out, all the time, you don't think about it. It's like driving a car. You don't have to think about changing gear or, where the pedals are, or looking in the mirror, etc. And that means you're driving unconsciously. The problem driving unconsciously is that if there is a problem, an accident, or things didn't quite go as they should, you wouldn't know if it was your fault. Most of us would blame everybody else because we're all the best drivers in the world. And the reality is, it could very well be our own fault, but we wouldn't know it because we're not conscious of it. So what I wanted to talk to you today a little bit more about is how you can help yourself and be a little bit more conscious of how you're coming across. And you already know this is the essence of the book that I've written, which will be coming out in November. And I wanted to sort of share with you a little bit about how people perceive messages, how people perceive the delivery of your message, how it's taken. I mean, in the end of the day, it's more about how somebody takes what you're saying as opposed to what you're saying. So how do they decide whether they like what you're saying or not? Now, according to Albert Mehrabians, he would say, this is a behavioural psychologist, he compiled some work in the 70s around the fact that actually there's a lot of what you say when you're face to face with somebody, a lot of what you say is received or understood based on mainly on your body language. So there's some percentages. Let me just grab this for you. I printed this out because I thought this might be helpful to you. This is Mehrabians' model. And what he's saying there, you can see, is that 55% of, the message that you're putting across, 55% of that message is received through your body language. Okay? 38% of that message is received through your tone. And 7% through the words, the actual words that you're saying. So what does that tell you? Well, to me, that says that, this is what somebody who is, when you're face to face with somebody, these are the things that a person reads in, automatically to make up their mind as to whether they like or dislike the message that you're putting across. Now, this is really something that is all about face-to-face. And I've said, well, how about on the phone? I started off saying how you could come across better on the phone. Well, on the phone, what you've got to remember is then the missing piece is this huge blue area there. The 55% body language is missing. So what then happens to tone and words? So that space there has got to be filled, and the only thing I can think that it would be filled with is the tone and the words that you use. So what I'm saying is that you have here a model which is based on face-to-face interaction. But if we talked about on the phone, we can probably all agree that on the phone you don't have body language, right? So there's 55% of that pie chart missing. So what do we fill it with? Well, personally, what I would do is I would imagine what happens is tone becomes twice as important and words become twice as important. So as I've scribbled all over here what's happening, if I can get that straight for you, you've got, instead of 7% words, your words now count for 14% of the way your message is received. Your tone, however, now doubles right up to 76% of how your message is received. So in other words, people will like or dislike what you're saying based on 76% of the tone, of the way you say it. 14% of the words you use. That still gives us a 10% void on the pie chart, and I would still attribute that 10% to body language, because I still think it's important that you have the right posture, and if you've got the right frame of mind, your posture's all right, you can project better. Projection is important because tone is important. Tone is important so that the words that you use are put across in the right way. So, here's something you can do. If you've never recorded yourself on the phone, then have a go. Do it. Be brave. Record yourself, play it back to yourself, and then ask yourself, would you listen to you? And if you wouldn't, then try again. Okay? Have a great day. I'll speak to you soon.